Hey, everybody, and welcome back to For the Booze.
For the Booze.
The Booze.
And we're back again.
We are.
In probably the most exhausting week of my life.
Oh, my God.
I am beat. Getting ready for this cross-country move. My goodness.
Packing just sucks in general. But,
yes.
I don't know. We went from this, tiny little apartment that we moved, 2 hours away where we are now. And we've accumulated so many things. And it's just a lot. It is so much.
We've doubled in size.
Yes.
It's crazy.
So,
And now we get to pack it all up and throw stuff away. So
that's right. Yep.
But we are back this week, and we are, if you were listening to For the News last week, then we read a story in there that would allude to what we were doing this week.
Yes.
And this week, we're traveling to merry old England in the district of Gloucestershire, England, of course, in a little town called Wotton-Under-Edge. And we're going to visit the very famous
Ancient Rams Inn.
That's right. Now, if you've watched Ghost Adventures or a lot of YouTube and stuff, then you've probably heard of this place.
Yes.
If not, then strap in, because this is actually a pretty good one, and there's a lot to it, honestly. It's got a lot of fun stories, and yeah, I think it's going to be a good one.
I'm excited. I've been wanting to do this one.
I know. I wanted to do this one a few weeks ago, but it's a very weird, there's a lot of we've had this happen before. It's a lot of information, but not a lot of information.
Right.
You have to sift through all this stuff that just says the same stuff over and over again. But we did it.
Yay.
And now we're here.
You did it.
But we are here.
We are here.
You still get to read your part. So I think without further ado, we have no listener stories, which is honestly okay coming up for the big move. We need to kind of try to keep it a little simple. We have a lot going on.
However, if you would like to send in listener stories when we get settled in and, get back on it, we would love to have some listener stories.
We definitely don't want you to stop sending them.
No.
We want them.
Never.
Because once we get settled where we're going, we'll have a studio and we'll have a full setup.
That's right.
And we will be able to really dig deep into the podcast. So send them in, suggestions, everything we've been talking about for, the past year and a half.
Yep.
We still want to do that.
Yep.
All right. So without further ado, I think now we should jump into it.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay. Today's spooky tale starts in a small market town in the Stroud district of Gloucestershire, England, called Wotton-Under-Edge. Near the southern fringe of the Cotswolds, the Cotswold Way long-distance footpath passes right through the settlement. Standing on the B4058, the small town is about 5 miles from the M5 motorway. The first record of the town is an Anglo-Saxon royal charter of King Edmund I, who, in the year 940, leased 4 hides of land in Wooderton to a man named Adric. The name Wooderton means the enclosure, homestead or village in or near the woods. The quote edge refers to the limestone escarpment of the Cotswold Edge, which includes the hills of Wotton Hill and Tor Hill that flank the town. In the 1086 Domesday Book listing, Wotton was in the hundred of Dudston. Kingswood Abbey was founded in 1139, but all that remains is a 16th century gatehouse. Nearby historical buildings include the Tudor houses of Newark Park and Owlpen Manor, both open to the public at set times. The original town was burnt down during the reign of King John, who sat upon the throne from 1199 to 1216. It was rebuilt in 1252, and a charter was granted to Johanna de Berkeley, authorizing her to hold a market and a 3-day annual fair on the Feast of the Cross. In 1272, the inhabitants of the borough were authorized to elect one of their members as a mayor, a practice that continued every year until 1886. The St. Mary the Virgin was consecrated in 1283 and is the oldest and largest church in town. The Catherine, Lady Berkeley's Grammar School was established in 1384 and is now a comprehensive, or also known as a secondary school, named Catherine Lady Berkeley School, although the present modern building is a little outside of town on the way to the village of Kingswood. The British school was established in the village in 1835. The Battle of Nibley Green occurred near the ancient Ram Inn in 1470 or 1469 under the calendar of the time, when the building was owned by Thomas Talbot, 2nd Viscount Lisle. William de Berkeley, 1st Marquis of Berkeley, led the forces that beat the Viscount, and after the battle, his men sacked the manor. Overlooking the town on the top of Wotton Hill is a collection of trees planted in the 19th century to commemorate the Battle of Waterloo. These are situated on the site that housed one of the early warning beacons used to warn England of the approach of the Spanish Armada in 1588. The ancient Ram Inn is what is known as a Grade II listed building and a former pub located in Wotton-Under-Edge. The inn has been owned by many people since 1145 and was in the private ownership of John Humphries until his death in December 2017. The building was also said to have been owned by the local St. Mary's Church when it was first built. Often referred to as the most haunted house in all of Britain, the uniquely historic, ancient-looking inn also happens to be the oldest building in Wotton-Under-Edge, the small village about 40 minutes from Bristol. It is known as one of the most unique properties in the region and has its fair share of strange stories, history, mystery, plus a host of unique residents. Before the building's construction in 1145, the site was home to a 5,000-year-old pagan burial ground that allegedly lies on ley lines, which trace directly back to the ancient and mysterious site of Stonehenge. This connection gives rise to legend that the strange paranormal happenings documented on the property relate to its unique past. The building that stands today was constructed as a home for slaves, masons, and other workers building the St. Mary's Church that sits close by. Streams on the grounds had to be diverted around the church's site, which according to many, is believed to have opened up the portal for dark energy once used in rituals performed by pagans in the area. One of the most well-known legends surrounding this haunted English home is that of a witch who was burned at the stake. Now, the burning occurred in the 1500s at the height of the prosecutions against those who did not practice government-sanctioned Christianity. Many believe this woman's spirit still haunts one of the ancient Ram Inn's rooms because she took refuge there shortly before she was captured and killed. Today, this room is called simply by the name
The Witch's Room.
After the Masons and other workers moved out, the house became home to a priest. It has had many different owners and functions ever since. And from 1930, the house was privately owned. It was Maurice the Bath who bought and restored it. In 1968, however, someone new had bought the ancient Ram Inn and decided to make it his home. The inn was sold to Mr. Humphries for the sum of just £2,600. Humphries then dedicated his life to restoring and preserving the inn. One of the most distinctive exterior features of the inn is now the bowing, bulging, timber-framed dormer section of the building. Even in historic photos, the unplumbed wall is very obvious. The deeds to the Ram Inn are mostly written in Norman French and are kept at the Gloucester Records Office. They read, quote, "The ancient Ram Inn dates to time immemorial." Another legend tells of an innkeeper's daughter who was murdered in the roof space in the early 1500s. Now, people who have stayed below in the bishop's room often hear the sound of something being dragged across the floor above their heads. John Humphries decided to buy the place in the late 1960s so that he could preserve it from destruction. And the first night that he stayed on the property, he says that he met the spirits that make the ancient Ram Inn one of the most haunted spots in all of England. He claims that demonic forces grabbed him by the arm and dragged him across the room from his bed. Since that time, he claims to have found evidence of ritual sacrifices and devil worship on the grounds of the inn. However, even more terrifying, he came across the skeletal remains of children that he believes were stabbed with daggers. Inside the inn, in the men's kitchen, a grave was exhumed, and the remains of a woman and a child were found. There were knives alongside their bodies. After studying the artifacts of the bodies of the Bristol Museum, it concluded that they had likely been killed in a ritual sacrifice. The ancient Ram Inn is believed to have witnessed ritual child sacrifice, black magic rituals, suicide, and to have even been the hideout of highwaymen. John once recalled a local clergyman's visit, quote, "When he arrived, he said, 'I'm not going in there. What you've got in there is very, very evil,' unquote." John had even claimed that, quote, "8 people who have slept here have had to be exorcised," unquote. John Humphries claimed the building was also haunted by both an incubus and a succubus. Now, those are male and female demons that engage in sexual activity with men and women as they sleep in order to steal their life force. The ghostly spirits never discouraged Humphries from maintaining his residence there. Though his wife and daughters left him at the inn, he remained, preserving the building. Night after night, he claims the spirits would return, but Humphries would always stick it out, and did so for more than 50 years until his death in late 2017. The ancient Ram Inn is a place where much energy is believed to dwell. It is this, paired with the many deaths, murders, and dark history associated with the building, that have caused the many hauntings that are believed to happen within the property. But who owns the inn today? Caroline Humphries, John Humphries' daughter, now has possession of the ancient Ram Inn and has given invitations to archaeologists to study its unique history. The hotel remains open to visitors. Most are paranormal tourists who test their nerve by staying the night. Caroline keeps the doors open throughout the year, allowing visitors to look around the former pub. The inn still claims to be the most haunted location in all of England and attracts ghost hunters and paranormal investigators from all around the world. Now, visitors can book a night at the Ram, although the COVID pandemic did have a massive impact. Quote, "Business is still not as good as it was before the pandemic," Caroline told StroudTimes.com. Quote, "The customers I do have are bringing some much-needed custom back to Wotton-Under-Edge. A few weeks ago, Amy Helliwell, the tourism officer for Stroud District Council, kindly gave her support and added the ancient Ram Inn website to their walking app, Discover Stroud Trails, for Halloween. I found a brilliant stonemason to start maintenance on the old Ram Inn this year. I still want to fulfill my dream of opening a function room and restaurant in the old barn as soon as possible, so I've been working with Maverick TV for a program on Channel 4 in the new year about antiques. I've met Ronnie Archer Morgan from Antiques Roadshow a couple times already." And when it comes to the supernatural, most of us, even those who fully believe, seem to remain largely skeptical, believing in only what we can see and hear for ourselves. When it comes to the ancient Ram Inn, however, if there is such a thing as a quote haunted house, this must be the perfect candidate for that title. Weird, rotten, and with 1,000 years of life and death inside its walls. Add to that an obsessive cast of ghost hunters and spiritualists, seances, Ouija boards, dowsers, mediums, and clairvoyants all struggling to lift the veil or open portals, trying to make contact. And you'd have the perfect storm for what some would call a supernatural infestation. Now, the building itself is uncommonly atmospheric. The old timbers creak and groan, chilling drafts permeate in every room. The dense clutter of religious artifacts, animal taxidermy, odd antiques, and creepy children's toys seem to have been purposefully collected and placed. A lifetime's work of curation that only heightens the uncanny landscape of the building. For anyone prone to flights of imagination, the stage has been immaculately set. It's no doubt bad things have happened here, and we know that John believed his own stories, even if he may have been somewhat prone to exaggeration. Who knows? Maybe it's all true. Nobody could say otherwise. But for now at least, it seems that the ancient Ram Inn will spend the rest of its days being sort of a proving grounds for the next round of paranormal groups trying to make a name for themselves.
Wow. That history went back way farther than I thought it was going to.
You know, when I was researching this, my only complaint, well, I guess I don't know if I can really call it a complaint. I just wish there wasn't a gap of, I don't know, a few hundred or, 1,000 years. It seems like there's such a gap between ownership.
Well, it's like it went from 1149 or something
To 1930. All of a sudden.
1500 something came in there. And then all of a sudden it jumps to 1960.
It's crazy.
So I get it.
Well, it goes from actually, I think it goes from the 1500s, because that's when the innkeeper, I believe, lived there. Mm-hmm. And then it jumps to 1930. And then it goes to 1960, and that's it. There's a huge gap. So I wish I knew what had happened within that time period. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of missing information on this place, during kind of its middle years that I don't think anybody really knows. Maybe there are records out there. I couldn't find any. I searched everything I could search. I'm not the smartest man, but I think I did a pretty thorough search.
Yeah. So
I don't know. And if you're out there, or maybe you are from England and you do know more about this, maybe email me and fill me in, and I'll bring it back up on the show. But I'm curious just for myself. I want to know what happened within that time period.
Absolutely. And can I just say that there is a lot of energy being brought there with how many paranormal investigators and, like they said, Ouija boards and, psychics.
And the ley lines. Well, and then that's the thing is, if you believe in ley lines, right? Because you can intersect and draw lines that perfectly go with all these the spiritual places, and they do line up. But ley lines are honestly, they're imaginary. They're not. They're like rivers of magic, basically. Rivers of energy that flow beneath the earth in different places. But it all depends on if you believe that these affect anything, or if you even believe that they're real.
Right.
And I don't know if I do, but I don't know if I don't either.
Right. I'm with you on that.
The fact that all these things do line up and cross over each other is pretty, it's pretty compelling. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's something there, clearly. So there's just a lot going on. England's one of those places that always seems to have
an abundance of this kind of stuff.
There's just always so much going on there, especially with haunted stuff, because it's been around for so long.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that there is a lot behind this place. I really do.
I think it's got potential.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not going to, quote, give up the ghost on it quite yet. I'll wait for the end. But I do, this is definitely going to be one of those places. It's going to make you think.
Yeah.
It's going to make you think. And I don't think that there is a person into the paranormal who wouldn't love to go here.
100%.
And it is a cool looking little building. It's on like a curve, like this curved road.
Yeah.
And I don't know, looks like it's sunk into like the roadside. It's really weird looking.
This place is so cool. I have thoroughly enjoyed every video that we have watched from here.
Reading ever since John died, I guess they started getting rid of all those weird artifacts that were in there.
Oh, that's sad.
And people are kind of bummed out because they feel like that some of the hauntings were connected to a lot of that stuff.
I could see that for sure.
But, I mean, there's nothing in here that says it was brought in by antique artifacts.
Right.
It was supposedly the things that happened. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But there are a lot of really cool claims, very interesting claims that we are going to get to. And if you don't know this place, please go watch the Ghost Adventures episode of this so you can watch Zach Baggins lay on the ground and invite the succubus to do dirty things with him. It gets so weird. It's so weird. Do you remember that?
I do.
It's such a ridiculous episode.
Oh, my God. Like, what a thing to attach to when you're given so many options of things that could possibly be here.
Of course he picked that one. I'm a guy. I think it would probably be the thing that I latched onto as well because we're men. I just, whatever. It is what it is.
Okay, but why wouldn't it be the incubus?
Because an incubus is a male spirit.
I understand that.
Well, because I'm not into dudes. Nothing wrong with it. I have no problem with that. It's not my preference.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Zach.
I'm not going to make assumptions. Actually, I'm pretty sure I just read that he's engaged now.
Oh, wow.
To
good for him.
Holly Madison.
Shut the front door.
I'm pretty sure I came across that here recently.
What?
Yeah, whatever. I don't think anybody's
You mean Hugh Hefner's old lady, right?
Ex-old lady. I mean, Hugh Hefner's gone now, but...
Wow.
Okay. Whatever. This isn't the Zach Baggins show. We talk about him enough on this show, so I don't want to give him any more of a platform.
Well, moving on.
I think we should probably, take a break or something at this point, and then you can come back and read your stuff. So, upward and onward to the ads. Hey Booze Crew, have you ever wondered about a subscription service for people like you? People who enjoy horror, the macabre, or things that are just all round spooky? Well, we've got the one for you.
That we do.
Creepy Crate is a horror and true crime subscription box filled with spooky collectibles, macabre accessories, and terrifying goodies. Each bi-monthly box is filled with over $85 of terror and includes at least one horror or true crime book, just like the one we got.
That is exactly like the one we got.
Now, this box delivers dread to your doorstep for just $39.99 with free shipping. Just go to creepycrate.store to subscribe. And because you're a listener of the show, you'll be getting a discount on your first order with the discount code
BOOZE5. That's BOOS and the number 5.
That's right. So get yours today and tell us all about it.
And now, Booze Crew, back to this exciting episode. They say that the ancient Ram Inn possesses a genuinely chilling aura, not to mention a reputation that is so menacing that many local people won't even walk past it at night. The building is believed to date back to around 1145, and it has been suggested that the workmen who built the parish church opposite had lived here for a time. John Humphries bought the ancient Ram Inn in the late 1960s to preserve it from being lost to time. However, the first night he stayed on the property, he says that he met the spirits that make it one of the most haunted spots in England. He claims that demonic forces grabbed him by the arm and violently dragged him across the room from his bed where he slept. After that time, he would find evidence of ritual sacrifices and devil worship on the inn's grounds. There are several entities believed to haunt the old inn turned home. Perhaps the most famous of them all is a witch that was burned at the stake in the area during the 1500s at the height of witch hunting. As the story goes, the woman fled from potential trial by government-sanctioned witch hunters and took refuge in the ancient Ram Inn. She was soon captured as she was burned at the stake. Of course, she lives on in legend today. The room where she hid has been dubbed the Witch's Room, and her spirit is believed to still haunt it to this day. A black cat is also said to haunt this room. It might have been the witch's cat, but it may also be the 500-year-old mummified cat Mr. Humphries found inside a wall. Having a dead cat inside your wall was looked upon as a lucky charm. The ghost of a girl is often seen behind this room's window. She's waving to everyone who sees her. Also, the spirits of former owners like hanging around in the sitting room. The ancient Ram Inn is famous throughout the world for its history of hauntings and paranormal activity. They claim it has been witness to the ghostly activity for many years, relating back as far as pagan times, and the land that the old inn was built on has even shown evidence of burials and sacrifices. In the former bar room, several apparitions have been seen, including an old innkeeper and his daughters. Frequently encountered is the spirit of a lady known as Elizabeth, and she is believed to have been murdered and buried beneath the bar. There are also stories of a former innkeeper's daughter who had been hanged in the attic. The spirits of ritually murdered children, exorcisms, and other dark, haunting events in the millennia-old inn. Allegedly, orbs of these spirits have been photographed by paranormal investigators and the curious alike. Strange lights have even been claimed to terrify visitors hoping for a peek into the afterlife. Another well-known room at the Ram's Inn is the Bishop's Room, and is considered the most haunted in the entire building. This is where bishops would stay in days past, and the room is supposedly haunted by the spirit of several bishops. Dark monks and evil spirits, including the spirits of these bishops, are said to be seen here on a regular basis. A ghostly figure has also been known to materialize by the dressing table and almost walk purposefully across to the opposite wall. 2 monks have also been seen shimmering in one corner. Witnesses have even claimed to have heard the terrified screams of a man who was reputedly murdered here by having his head thrust into the fire. There are even claims that a phantom shepherd and his dog have also been seen near the door when the inn was still a bed and breakfast. many guests wouldn't even want to sleep in the room. Those who did decide to sleep ended up fleeing in the middle of the night. Even a Roman centurion is claimed to have appeared on horseback riding through the walls towards plumbers who were minding their own business. Also, an incubus and succubus supposedly haunt the room that John Humphries himself selected for his sleeping quarters, mistreating those brave enough to stay overnight. During the renovation of the building's basement, Mr. Humphries accidentally dug up a grave with several child skeletons at the foot of the staircase. These children were most likely the victims of a ritual sacrifice. The broken knives were still inside their little bodies. That may also explain the sound of childlike crying throughout the entire inn. When stuffed animals were put all over the place, the crying became less, but it would never completely vanish. Also, the spirit of a young girl by the name of Rosie is claimed to have been seen floating through the hallways. Mr. Humphries also loved putting antiques in the inn, so when he found an antique painting of one pastor, John Wesley, he was really pleased. But when he tried hanging the painting in the stairwell, all hell broke loose. Doors that had been closed for years started to swing open and slam shut, and there was banging on all the windows. His daughter's dog didn't even dare to enter the stairwell when the painting was up. It's unnecessary to say that it didn't hang there for very long. But there are even stories of the barn. The 18th century building is haunted by what they claim to be a 7-foot-tall dark figure. He's violent and aggressive towards men, but favors a certain type of female. The dark shadow appears in the doorway of the barn as if it's protecting something. Because of the reported specters that have been seen and experienced in the house, it has been investigated by various paranormal researchers, YouTubers, and even such television shows as the UK's television series Most Haunted and the paranormal show Ghost Adventures. But this is just one of many haunted locations in Gloucestershire. The Ram Inn is supposedly a haunted hotspot, but there are more places in this country where ghosts are believed to reside. The Woodchester Mansion and St. Brivel's Castle are also claimed to be infested with ghosts as well. Could this be a coincidence? Maybe, but there might be a connection between these three locations. Archaeologically seen, the ancient Ram Inn lives in a very special location. It is located directly on the crossroad of two ley lines. These are a straight line that one can draw through several places of geological and spiritual importance, like prehistoric burial grounds and mystical places like stone circles, as well as ancient churches and cathedrals. One of the lines that cross the ancient Ram Inn crosses directly over the center of Stonehenge. The other one can be traced through Glastonbury Tor. Ley lines are energy tracks of sorts. People say that the ancient energy of Stonehenge feeds the paranormal activity in the places on that line. They say the moment you enter the old inn, An aura of dreadful foreboding envelops you. The bare walls, old creaking floorboards, steep, uneven stairs, and mysterious shadows are sufficient to elicit the coldest of shivers. While the legions of ghost stories that come marching from its dark past can chill the blood of even the biggest non-believers. Quote,
"The atmosphere was awful,"
is how one visitor put it. Quote,
"I can only describe it as pure filth, dark and heavy."
The first room that visitors encounter is the men's kitchen. This allegedly stands on the site of the ancient pagan burial ground, and the disturbing sound of a baby crying is often claimed to be heard here. People ascending the steep staircase up to the first floor have been thrown up the stairs by an invisible force. A photograph was taken here in June 1999 and showed a mysterious white mist about the height of a human ascending the staircase. There is a millennia worth of haunted tales from the ancient Ram Inn. Some have been documented, but we are sure hundreds or even thousands will be lost to time. While we will never know what happened in the past, we can look and see what the people of today think of the inn. Karen Sinclair on TripAdvisor.com writes, quote,
"What an amazing venue to do for a paranormal investigation. So much energy and history there. My absolute favorite part was actually, funny enough, we were on our break and I was sitting at the table in John Humphries' part of the house, having a few salt and vinegar crisps, and I, for some reason, felt like there was some energy around me. So, like most investigators do, I picked up one of our K2 meters and asked if John liked salt and vinegar crisps, and is that why I felt someone around me? And the meter went all the way red. So I decided I might as well record in case we get any other responses. And OMG, we had an almost 8-minute conversation with the most intelligent responses ever. It was an absolute pleasure to speak with him, as I always wish I could have met him while he was still alive. But now, I truly can say I've met him in spirit. I have the full video, and I would love to send it to Caroline, and hope maybe she will see this and contact me so I can send it over to her. Your father was an amazing man, Caroline, and we learned so much about his amazing life that night. XXX.
Malcolm G. from TripAdvisor.com writes, quote,
"Have visited the ancient Ram Inn twice for paranormal investigations. An eerie place with a long history of hauntings and linked to devil worship. I have to admit that I did not see anything, but you do feel something is watching. A great place to spend the night. Not for the faint of heart, that is for sure."
Rob G. Travels on TripAdvisor.com writes, quote,
"We went in February 2018 with my ghostbusting friends. We were very lucky in that we had a multitude of activity throughout the night. I personally experienced unexplained happenings, including the sensation of a moving floor, a cat ball being moved in circles across the palm of my hand, of which I could feel the light sensation of something pushing down slightly on it, and also extreme breathlessness to the extent I could hardly talk. A lamp was thrown at one of our group, and several females had the sensation of someone blowing in their face. Our EMF K2 meter also had some insane activity. Overall, this is one very strange place. I cannot explain the events that happened, but we'll never forget them.
And one more from TripAdvisor.com. Sunnyside33 writes, quote,
As one of the most haunted locations around, I would personally recommend the Ramp Inn to anyone who is into the paranormal. The house is full of history and is interesting to look around. The evening was interesting, with some action occurring. Do not go here if you have a weak heart, as it is very unnerving at times. If you are a Ghost Hunter fan, then this is one you need to do. All the rooms have a different story to tell, and to be honest, I was happy to leave, as this place was creepy at the best of times.
While locals avoid walking past the inn at night, England's most haunted house is popular to many adventure seekers and those who have an interest in the paranormal. The house has several rooms, to which each one has its own haunting story. The sound of a baby crying, a woman in a child's grave, invisible forces that attack visitors, and violent tremors and bangs are just a few of the many eerie experiences that visitors encounter while ghost hunting at the ancient Ram Inn. Even by looking at the house from the outside gives many onlookers goosebumps. If you quickly get scared or get nervous, then they say that the ancient Ram Inn is not for you to visit.
A lot of stories happen there, and a couple things that were actually left out because I didn't find them until the end. Is that there was actually a tunnel underneath the house that connected to the church back when the slaves and workers would have to travel back and forth. And what was the other one? There was, I can't remember. There's something else there. One of them was that they're taking out the antiques. But, I mean, there's just an endless list of tales from this place.
That's crazy. Add in a tunnel and everything, too? What?
There's a lot.
Wow.
There's a lot. This place is, it's, how old is it? It's
really, really old.
like 1,000 years old or something stupid.
It's so crazy.
It's just ridiculous.
So old.
It's crazy old. Well, maybe not 1,000. It's like 900 years old.
It's close enough.
850. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician. But yeah, there's a lot going on here. And back when we partied, it was 1999, they caught a picture there, which I saw. It's a very easily debunkable picture, I'm not going to lie. But it could also be something. So I'm not sure. If you want to check it out, just go online. And it's pretty easy to find. All you really have to do is Google Ancient Ram Inn, and it'll pop up eventually.
Cool.
But there was a lot of great websites that I came across for this. A lot of people have done really great research on this. So,
Heck yeah.
as every episode, we have to extend a thank you to all of them, because without all of their hard work, all of our hard work probably wouldn't happen.
Absolutely.
So, there's a plethora of information out there on this place. So, if you want to learn more, I actually, for once, we covered most of it, honestly.
Yay.
This is a lot of it. I wish I could remember the website. There was one, it might have been hauntedbritain.com maybe, but one of these websites had a bunch of old pictures of this place, and it's just really cool because it's like old-timey 1930s England.
Oh,
and
cool.
like people out front and just all the little signs all over it and stuff.
That's neat.
But if you watch YouTube, look up the Ancient Ram Inn, and everybody's been there probably twice.
Yeah.
And
it's so cool.
It's always a cool place to watch, because even if not a lot goes on in the video, there's a lot to look at in this place.
It's very packed with, like they said, like antiques, and each room is just like themed, I guess, to like different.
It's not really themed. Like, they're just old rooms. I guess they're themed in the way that the bishop's room is themed because it's haunted by a bishop.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a very, very, very cool place.
Yeah.
If you have never watched a video on it, I encourage you highly to look into it because
Absolutely.
most videos that you're going to find on this place, they're pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, somebody usually gets stuff from here. So
Yeah.
I did find some EVPs.
Yay.
So we have to do that now. Now, I'm only going to
Excellent.
play a couple of them like normal. So this one, it comes from a channel. It comes from a channel on YouTube. That's why I mixed that up. Called
a channel.
called the Haunted Hub Paranormal. And it says, the name of the video is Haunted Ancient Ram Inn EVP Session, Ghost Spirit Box Recordings with John Humphries. It says another shocking reply at the Ancient Ram Inn, crazy place to capture very clear EVP. We are a team of EVP specialists.
Oh.
Our aim is to share with you our most compelling, amazing, scary paranormal evidence to date. Capturing real-time intelligent EVPs, disembodied sounds, and voices during our investigations and recorded live on camera. That's a typo. As we conduct our EVP. I think it's supposed to say as we. All of our terrifying spirit communications and phenomena has been captured on EVP recorders, SB7, PSB11, spirit boxes and ghost portals, and camera microphones. What you are about to witness in our paranormal video is what we believe to be a direct, intelligent contact with those who have passed over to the other side. Now, these responses are real and at times shocking, malevolent, and of a dark and nefarious nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, those are the best.
They are. So let's listen to this one.
I can tell them to fuck off. That's the only way to deal with them. Don't be trivial, or please leave me alone, go away. If you command them to go, they will go. But in me, because I'm the owner.
Yeah.
And they respect me as the saviour of this building.
Get out, all of you.
Nope. I don't like that.
That was very evil
Aggressive.
sounding.
It was very
Ugh.
aggressive. I hate the ones that like scream like that, dude. It creeps me out.
And it's so crazy because they come across like so intense. And it's like you want to know what they're saying, but you don't want to know what they're saying all at the same time. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, rah.
I definitely do not want to know.
Oh my goodness.
I hate it.
Don't even want to listen to that again.
I hate it when they're like that because it is just, it's very unnerving to listen to.
Oh, absolutely.
I just don't like them. And I know that sucks because like it's a good EVP,
Yes.
but I have a hard time listening to them. I probably will not listen back to it when I edit
Yeah.
because it creeps me out even more.
It's
I don't like it. Now, this is also from the Haunted Hub, but this is on their TikTok account.
okay.
And just in case you guys don't know out there, we have just started doing TikTok. So
We did.
check us out on TikTok at @forthebooze_podcast. And this says a paranormal EVP capture of a spirit called Matthew at the Ancient Ram Inn. This is the first time we've had a bunch of them where it doesn't really tell us what they say, so I have to listen to. I don't like that game.
I love this game.
I don't. You stop.
I do.
All right, well,
You make me play this all the time.
I know.
It's only fair.
I know.
Only fair.
All right, here we go.
Who you got where? Who's standing in front of me and Gary? Who we got with us? Who you got where? Who's standing in front of me and Gary?
I don't know what it's saying. I know what I think it's saying, and I don't want to repeat it on camera or on microphone.
I don't. I can repeat what I think it's saying.
Okay, good.
I think it's saying I am.
I think it is saying Alec, but I am also here a very derogatory word and not the FU word that starts with F. It's just what I hear for some reason.
Huh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to repeat it because I don't.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to say that because I don't agree with that. But that's what I hear. But it's asking, like, who's standing here or who's here with me. So Alec would make sense, or I am makes sense. So I don't know.
I don't know either.
All right. We got another one.
Okay.
This.
And just to go back on that one, the spirit box ones are always the hardest
They're so hard
to hear because you have that static in the background, and it's always like.
See, we don't own any, like, equipment.
Right.
And I wonder if reach out to us on social media and let us know. But are these things easier to understand in person than they are listening to them?
Coming across on camera the way they do.
Because they never sound very good.
No.
Like on television. And even like with television crews and stuff, they still don't sound great.
Right.
I can never really hear it.
That'd be interesting to know. I would love to know that.
Yeah. So tweet at us or Instagram at us or all the Facebook. I don't know. Do the things. Tell us. We would like to know.
Yes, I would love to know.
This one comes via Facebook. And this is from EVP Captures by NJS. This is from 2019. It says, my teammate and EVP partner in crime, Mark B., have many amazing EVP captures. I've talked him round to letting me share a couple with you. It's about 1 minute and 11 seconds long.
Okay.
I think this might be a collection.
Oh, cool.
I can definitely tell that a lot of the stuff that we've covered tonight comes from British people.
Yes.
You know, crisps, and I've talked him round to let you know. Shout out Vinny if you ever listen to this. It's yeah. I love the way you guys talk.
Or like my whole side of the family.
Yeah. I don't know if any of them actually listen to the show.
I don't either.
I know some of them have asked, like, what the name is, so maybe they do. But we do have British listeners. Shout out to you fine folks.
Yeah, absolutely. And if any of my family does, I miss you guys.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Cross the pond.
Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see you this year because we're going to be 2,200 miles away. But anyways.
Yes.
Here we go. Let's listen to this, and hopefully I'll get to know what's going on. Pretty good. I like those. Those are pretty good.
Yeah, those were good. A lot of low whispering in that.
I feel like that
last one was like nothing.
Close. It was get them.
Oh, okay.
The first one, I'm not sure what they said. I think
I'm not great at this game.
I think another part of this that makes it kind of hard is honestly that we are American and Floridians at that, and they're all coming through in British accents, which makes it even harder.
Yeah. Even like regular whispered EVPs are very hard to understand.
That's a fair statement. The longer we do this show and we listen to EVPs and stuff like that, you really start to realize, like, it's good. It's really good evidence, but it's always hard to understand it unless there's like a caption of what they think it says.
Absolutely.
And then all you can do is go, yeah, that's what it's saying. Or you go, that's not what it's saying.
Yeah.
But at least it gives you a jumping off point as far as to like
what it could be, might be, around about what it might be.
It's always so hard to understand. That's why if all this stuff is easier in person, just tell us, because if it is, then we're going to have to get some stuff and make this happen.
For sure.
But that's it. That's all I'm going to play.
Yay.
There is plenty of stuff out there for this place. So finding evidence and videos and stuff is not going to be hard to do. But that is the Ancient Ram Inn.
Oh, I'm so glad we did this one. I've been looking forward to it.
Now that we've finally done it, maybe I'll stop calling it the Ancient Ram's Head Inn. I don't know why I call it that, but there's actually a place called the Ram's Head Inn.
Yeah.
And I always call it that. I even started writing it down when I was doing the research as that. The Ancient Ram Inn. Ancient Ram Inn. A-R-I. Yeah, A-R. Yeah. So.
Okay.
A lot of history, a lot of mystery involved with this one, and a very, very long period of time, goes by in this story, and I really enjoyed this one.
I did too.
This
a lot
was
of cool history.
This was a cool one.
Yeah.
But every episode, everyone since the beginning, except for maybe for the news, but that's not for the booze, that's for the news. I have to ask you one question every time, and that question is it real? So, we all would love to know whether or not you think the Ancient Ram Inn is haunted or not. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. This one's kind of hard for me. I'm just kidding. It's definitely haunted. This place has so much evidence. So many people have been there, and they have basically just built it up around the evidence and the things that happen and just all of it. And I think collectively it just makes it a very standout place to me for paranormal activity. I don't know about incubuses and succubuses and
I do. I married one.
and like just the crazy demonic thing. I don't know. I've never been. I don't know. It's, I've never been there in person to experience any of that, but there is definitely something going on here. 100%.
Okay.
So, what about you?
Now, I actually am on the fence about it.
Oh.
Okay. I'm not being coy and elusive.
Okay.
I have very mixed feelings about this place. I actually think I sit more on the side of I think the objects in there were haunted or the objects had attachments or something going on. An article that I had read was the reason people were getting upset that they were taking the things out is because the paranormal activity is actually starting to dwindle. Which leads me to believe that either something was attached to Mr. Humphries or the objects that he was bringing in.
Right.
Now, I can't say for certain that something, it's a very old place. It's very possible that something is left behind, especially the fact that there were slaves and, slaves of all kinds were not treated well. And the witch or the girl that was accused of being a witch, that really happened.
Yep. And
I do believe that the girl in the attic really also did happen. So people really did die here.
Now, what do you... I want to ask, what do you think about the woman and child that were found with the knives?
That all happened
in it.
That is real. You can find pictures of it. There were bodies found.
Yeah.
That's how they know about this. None of that stuff, the stuff that.
But do you think it was like a murder and they hid the murder weapon with the bodies? Or
I don't think it was. I don't think it was a murder. I think it was a sacrifice.
Okay, that's what I was.
From a long. This was before modern time.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
was pagan time. So we're going way back.
Yeah,
way back.
Where things like that happen quite often.
Well, yeah, you had to appease the gods.
Yep.
It seems you either appease the gods or you have to make the god happy. It's always one thing or another.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that stuff did happen. People died in this house. People died on this land.
For sure.
So, I will say, yes, I think it's haunted.
Okay.
I'm just not sure if I believe that there is much going on with the house or if I think it's all from the stuff that was brought in.
Okay.
Or Mr. Humphries himself.
Fair enough.
Because the fact that it is dwindling over time is, that...
When did he passed in
2017?
Yeah.
So,
wow.
whatever. I don't know. I do think something's happening here, though. So that means that this place gets...
The big old seal of approval.
That's right. The big old feminine seal of approval.
I can't make my voice that low.
Oh, see, I'm gonna have to cut out the whole part where we went through this.
We did. I was trying to read one of the stories in like a dude voice because his name was Malcolm, and I can't do it.
No worship.
I can't.
So that's it. That is the Ancient Ram Inn. That's another one down, and another one that we believe is haunted.
Yay!
So if you're over there in England and you get a chance, go check it out. Take some pictures. If you've been there and you have pictures, send them to us. We would love to see them. Or
Absolutely.
if you've been there and you have a cool story about being there, send it in so we can read it on the show.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that would be so cool.
But that's going to take us out. And where can they find us?
They can find us on Instagram at forthebooze_podcast and on Facebook at forthebooze.
You can also find us on Twitter at forthebooze, YouTube at forthebooze, and also now you can find us on TikTok at forthebooze_podcast, just like Instagram. And also, if you have a listener suggestion or you have a story that you would like us to read, or you just want to contact us to say hi or tell us we're doing a good job, it's forthebooze12@gmail.com. And
what's that other thing? Yeah.
What is it?
It's rate and review.
Yeah, we need those.
Rate and review anywhere you can rate and review a podcast.
Or go over to TikTok and like all our stuff we're doing. That works
Yay,
too.
that works too.
Follow us over
Love
there.
that.
That'll help. But I guess this is it.
Wait.
Oh, there's clearly there's more.
Wait.
And I am as surprised as everybody else.
Do you know what we have to go do after we are done recording right now?
No?
We have to go watch Project Fear.
Oh, that's
dropped
right.
today.
Oh my gosh.
It is Friday, however, the 23rd.
23rd.
You guys won't listen to this until Monday. But if you are listening to this and you have not watched Project Fear, it releases today. 3
days ago.
Yes.
By the time you
3
hear
days.
this.
Yeah. That. However, I am so very excited.
I'm going to be honest. With everything going on here, I forgot.
Oh, no. Me and Amanda have been talking about this literally every day and counting it down. I am so excited.
I'm going to bleep her name out.
Oh. Me and my friend at work have literally been talking about this every day and just counting down the days. And I am so excited.
Well, then, I guess we better get out of here.
We better get going. Well, thank you, everybody, so much for listening. And we will see you in the next one.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.